Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Cast and Chill. Last time we caught a bunch of really big fish. We've got the big spinnerbait. Got the deep crankbait, which is good for lake trout. I assume there are some lake trout. Yep, where I'm at Picnic Point. But we also would like to get the ice water fishing license here. Ice water sea, eh? That's the edge of the world right there. Storm-blown skies, gulls riding the wind, and the sea crashing like it's got a grudge. Fishing out here ain't gentle, it's for the tough and the lucky. Cool. I have 4 coins left. Let's give them all to Rusty here. You're a real gem, you know that? Hauled in a big steelhead, did you? Thing must have fought like a wolverine on a bad day. Got this new rod in, too. Good for hauling in more like it. The freshwater kind, anyway. Or chucking bait way out deep. Another rod. We haven't even bought the timberjack. Oh, no, wait a minute. Excuse me, Rusty. You claim you have a new rod. You've already told me about the grizzly pole. You got anything else for me? Some fish spook faster than a deer on opening day, especially if you're using a regular line. Grab yourself a rod strung with fluoro. It's near invisible. Excuse me. Is he telling me, like, real fishing tips? Because, I have no idea. How would I even do what he's talking about? Oh! Look at that. So there's the Maple Scout, the Timberjack. Now there's the Phantom line. Invisible line the fish can't see coming. It's for small, medium, and large. That's kind of sweet. And then the Blue Bait Caster. 54 feet of line, which is not as long as the ones I've upgraded, but it's pretty long. I also don't know what the difference between braid and mono is. Do you think that's stronger? Possibly. Interesting. Well, we got some fishing rods to catch, or to purchase now, which is fun. But now we're going to try to go catch some lake trout here. Was the deep crankbait and the big spinnerbait, I think is what they said? Let's go to the far side of the pond here. Yes, welcome back for another episode, by the way. Today, if you're like, what the heck's the theme, man? What's the theme of this episode? I want to hear what you're going to talk about. We're going to talk about absurd laws. So this was a suggestion. I think Tammy made the suggestion in the comments. If I mispronounced or misread your name, I apologize. I did my best. Maybe. So, lake trout, extra large or extra large. Same thing with the deep crankbait. So I guess we'll go with the big spinnerbait, pick up our biggest fishing rod here, and then give it a whack and see what happens. We're going to talk about weird laws. This always happens. I wonder if we're not supposed to yeet the rod into this hole down here. But go down. Down into the chasm. Going further. That's as deep as it'll go. Are you guys interested? What kind of fish are you? These fish don't seem interested. All right. What does a lake trout look like? Where are we? We'll get to the laws in a second. I need to figure out what I'm doing first. Picnic Point. You're a lake trout. Okay. What am I using right now? Yeah, I'm using the big spinnerbait. All right, maybe they're in the deeper part of the lake. They're not in the chasm between the rocks. Those fish didn't look super big. Speaking of fish and archaic laws, some of them are still on the books, by the way. Is that a lake trout up there? Quick. Try to get their attention. Hey, you. No? Maybe I'm like, it's the wrong type of day. Yeah, those fish were not interested at all. Let's see here. Nope. Do I have to go back to the dock to take a nap? Well, speaking of fish and illegal laws, or old laws. So apparently, I'm going to make a big caveat here with what all of this that I'm about to say. I am not a lawyer. I've never taken a law course in my life. I do read a fair amount of stuff about legality and illegality, especially in the current political climate in America. But I don't know anything about being a lawyer, trial lawyer, or like passing laws, and neither am I like guaranteed that any of these things are actually true or up to date, because I'm just looking at some laws like that have been amalgamated by other people online. So if you're like, well, that law was like taken away 20 years ago, I have no idea. I'm just reading what other people have said. But anyway, just with that out of the way, because I don't want anybody to be like, you're spreading false information, because that's bad. You don't want to spread false information. Spinnerbait and the timberjack. All right, too big of a spinnerbait for the red fish. I'm going to crank out some fish here, because we haven't caught anything in the first 7 minutes of the video. But anyway, so this first law is from England, which is very interesting to me. Whoop. Is the Salmon Act of 1986, which is a relatively, like, recent law, considering it's a little weird. Usually when you read about these weird laws, there's a giant fish down there. They're, like, from, like, the 1800s or even earlier. Nice, trophy weight. But this law is the 1986 Salmon Act in England, that it applies to England and Wales. And apparently, you're not allowed to handle salmon under suspicious circumstances. And the point of the law was to, like, update the Salmon Fisheries Act of 1868, which is where, like, the original weird law comes from. But the fact that it's so... You can kind of see where all these laws have to get so very specific. Because when you write a law that says you can't handle a fish suspiciously, what does that mean? I assume that means that you're, like, raising them in a non-healthy environment, or you're selling them in a non-healthy environment, or something like that. But it could also mean, like, you can't carry this fish around in a bag. Or, like, you have what if you have an aquarium in the back of your car? Like, just weird stuff like that. So you wonder where their heads were at when they wrote these. It's like the fine balance of being too specific because it only applies to, like, one specific circumstance. That fish did not like... Oh! Come on. This is, like, your size bait, mister. Yes! Exactly. So you kind of see where politicians are, like, in a trap, where they're, like, trying to write it specific enough that it makes sense for what they're intending the law for, but they don't want it to be so specific that it doesn't apply to, like, any useful thing. Wonder what that fish at the way bottom is. The huge one? That's gotta be a lake trout. So we tried the big spinnerbait maybe and try to drop it, like, real deep. It's floating away. Wonder if my line's not... No, it's gotta be... Yeah, it's right in front of that dude, if he ever turns around. Jig it. Hey, we got him! Big fish. So I thought that law was funny because just the wording of it is weird. And we're playing a fishing game, so why not talk about the Salmon Act of 1986? Well, it's like slightly older than I am. I'm in my mid-30s. Come on. I gotta focus for a bit. We'll talk about more weird laws in a second. Like the laws about chickens in Quitman, Georgia. I feel like a lot of laws around like livestock come from the South. I don't know. That might just be my own misconception of the southern United States. Come on, fish. You're getting tired. I'm getting tired. Into the boat with you. Yes! Not the biggest lake trout. Oh, new species caught. Okay, it must be the biggest lake trout I've ever caught. It was a 34-pound fish. Holy cow. There's another one down there. We're going for it for sure. Down it go. Oh, he went that way. I saw him. Well, while he's going, making the rounds, and he'll be coming back eventually, is we're going to talk about Quitman, Georgia's local laws about chickens. So I'm a huge fan of chickens. I grew up on a small farm, I would call it. My parents weren't primarily farmers, but we did have livestock. Like we raised our own pigs and cows, and we had a massive garden as well. So we were like semi self-sufficient. We still went to the grocery store like bi-weekly, but it was for like toilet paper and things like that. And we did get like lunch meat and stuff, but we had a lot of stuff that we grew and produced ourselves. But anyway, because of that, we did have a lot of chickens around, especially when I was growing up, and even when I went all the way to college. But the funny thing about that is we lived like in the middle of the country. Like the nearest town to us was like a 15-minute drive. So miles and miles out of town. And the idea of having chickens just made sense because we were in the middle of nowhere. But in some places, you aren't interested? Oh, you are interested. You played coy for a second there, bud. So some places have laws, especially in the city, against chickens. Whether or not they're... You can argue one way or the other what that's about. A lot of suburbs just don't like the look of having chickens. It's, the curse of suburbia, where they're like, you gotta have like a manicured lawn that's so high and like you can't really have any weeds. This is more HOA stuff than like local laws, but a lot of like cities will have laws against chickens because they don't want people raising animals in their backyard, which I think is stupid. If you want to raise animals, just go for it, whatever. You're not hurting anybody. And it's good for you and the kids probably to learn how to raise chickens, if you have kids. Slightly smaller lake trout. We're going for the tiger trout now, again. Those are slightly smaller, but there are some big tiger trout down here. Like that guy. Immediately bitten? You're coming right into the boat, sir. Sproing. All right, he's giving a bit of a chase. Bit of a fight. Come back up. So anyway, in Quitman, Georgia, I have a friend from Georgia, so this is kind of fun. Apparently, you're not allowed to let your chickens roam free. The law specifically states that they cannot roam in large quantities, and this applies to all poultry, so not just chickens. So ducks, geese, and whatever. But you're not allowed to let them roam free. And it says, it may not run at large upon the streets or alleys of the city. Oh my God, did you see that giant fish down there? Which it obviously spawns all of the chicken cross, why did the chicken cross the road jokes. But the idea of chickens running rampant in the street and being like, whose chickens are these? That's funny to me. Also, it makes me think of like Key West. If you've ever been to the Florida Keys, I think I'm gonna go for the deep crankbait here and try to get that giant fish that we saw. So Key West, is famous for having chickens just roaming the streets. So it's a different mentality. Oh, come on, big fish. Oh, no. You've gone the wrong way. Turn the boat around. Cast far. And those chickens just roam wild. They lay eggs. They raise chicks in the street. They're straight up street chickens. Which is an interesting thing to come across. All right, here he is. No? Big fish. Big man. Come back. All right, that fish was not interested in what we were having for dinner. Might be even an even bigger bait, maybe? Spinner bait with fluoro. No wonder we can't catch the moon eye. We need the fluoro thing. Interesting. Well, let's go back and let's go check out the coastline. But speaking of chicken cross the road jokes, you guys should definitely hit me with your favorite chicken. Why did the chicken cross the road joke? Ooh, nice. 272. There we go. 802 is pretty good. I would love to buy some of these other poles, but I think I will hold on to my money to see what kind of fish we come across in the ice water sea at Watcher's Point here. Look at the lighthouse. Oh, the waves crashing upon the shore. This reminds me kind of Maine. I've been to Maine. I've been to Acadia National Park. Very cool national park. All the national parks are great. I immediately just tossed the rod into the water just to see what it was. There's a bunch of new fish there. What's that guy? What's that guy? They're so big. Oh my god, there's so many fish down here. All right, hit me with the species here. What do we got? Atlantic salmon, crankbait. The lingcod is a jig head, and then the Pacific herring is a bobber. Okay. Oh. Come on. Come on, Atlantic salmon. Yes! He's a feisty one, though. Oh, there was a redfish down there. Did you see that guy? He's not too pleased. Oh, he's gonna go that way. Come back. How big of a fish do you think this fish is? We're learning about all the fish in the sea as this Atlantic salmon takes us for a ride. Look at him go. Come on, right into the boat. Cranking. We might need the grizzly guy for this fish. He's angry. Come back. No. You're gonna leave. Oh, don't keep going that way. Come back. The Atlantic salmon, my nemesis. Don't crank on the reel too hard. Into the boat. Into the boat. Oh, you bugger. Up. Yes! 50 pounds! It's the biggest fish in the history of mankind. All right, what else did we learn? The American shad, also a bobber. And then the spoon bait for the yellow eye rockfish. You like the jig head, so let's try to grab a ling cod. Where was the jig head? Are you jig head? Yeah. See if they're okay with the timberjack sized rod. So another weird law. So this law, actually, I do know, is no longer up to date. What is that? Is that a giant Atlantic salmon? It must be. Where are the other fish? You further down? Oh, sure enough. Ooh, let's see if we can get this big boy. Gotta get his attention. Oh, there's like a, what was that kind called? A rockfish? Here he comes. No, not the little one, the big one. Yes! I'm not interested in small fish today. So I know for a fact this law is off the books. So in Victoria, Australia, and it might have been all of Australia, but at one point, until the 1998 Electricity Safety Act was enacted, it was apparently illegal, and this probably made more sense when electricity was brand new, but it was apparently illegal to change your own light bulbs until 1998 in Victoria, Australia. Is you were not allowed to do that. You had to be a licensed electrician. And I wonder, like, back in the day, I actually don't know much about the original light bulbs that were invented by, like, Edison and whoever else came after him, you know, mass manufacturing light bulbs. But I imagine they were a bit more janky. Jeez, the fish are getting huge, everybody. I want to go for that redfish. What do you like? You like the spoon bait. Huge? You think that's an extra large fish? Probably. We'll find out. But yeah, since the 1998 law made it allowable to do your own light bulb and removing plugs from the wall, apparently it might have been illegal to remove plugs before. And just imagine all the stuff that you plug in and plug in and unplug on a daily basis, like your phone. And obviously the law has been updated, you know, almost 30 years ago at this point. God, that's crazy. Why did I say that? The mid-90s were 30 years ago, everybody. Panic. People were alive after were born, who are watching this maybe after the 1998 Electricity Safety Act was enacted in Australia. Crazy sauce. Apparently, another law, wild one, in Milan, this has like an idea of an ancient law that was passed like in the 1600s because like some docent was mad about the city being like so melancholy one day or something crazy. Got him. Oh, trophy weight rockfish is exciting. What is the Atlantic salmon like again? Crankbait. I think we should go for some of these tiny fish just to get them in the books with the bobber. Lure's too small. They look really little though, so I'm kind of thinking maybe the little guppy with the bobber. See if we can't catch one. Like those are tiny, tiny fish. Gotta catch every fish available. Just reel them in. Caught a Pacific herring, 4 ounces. Let's go to the other side. I think there was another one that likes to be at the surface as well. But there's a law in Milan that says you're not allowed, you are required to smile at all times unless you're at a funeral or you're in a hospital at the bedside of a dying loved one. Which is mind-boggling. Like, what do you mean you have to smile at all times? This fish is a little feistier. Oh, you're coming right into the boat. There, American shad. That's a 4-pound fish, y'all. Have we caught one of everything out here now? We sure have. Let's try to grab some more Atlantic salmon here. More crankbait. It's a spinner bait. Blade bait. There's the crankbait. It's the deep crankbait, probably. Go up to our biggest fishing rod and launch it out there. I'm excited to see how much these fish are going to go for. But yeah, it's pretty wild to think about, like, obviously nobody gets in trouble for not smiling anymore. Or it's wild to think about if anybody ever did, but yeah, like, what are you thinking? We're telling people that they can't be sad. And wouldn't that just make them more sad? They might just up and move to Venice. Another great one is apparently it's illegal to pass wind in a public place after 6 p.m. on Thursdays in Florida. That's one of those that's like so insanely specific that I'm like, where did this come from? Who farted near somebody who was in charge? And they were like, I gotta make a law about this. And then everybody else was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because they had to go along with it too. You don't just get to write a law into reality unless you're, the current president, maybe, of the United States. As depressing as that may be. Do you guys not like this anymore? Am I doing this wrong? Come on, giant fish. It's the crankbait, man. Yeah, the timberjack and the deep crankbait, it worked. I don't understand these fish. Are you too small? Like, the big one should be interested in it, but the little one here, maybe we need the fluoro line or something. It doesn't say it's required. Oh, was that the medium crankbait? The lure is too big for your rod. Oh. Oh, how did I end up on the Maple Scout? Here, let's chase down that Atlantic salmon. My bad. But yeah, it's really funny to think about. In the law specifically states that it is specifically farting after 6 p.m. on a Thursday, specifically that day and that time, is outlawed to prevent annoyance to the community and corrupting the public morals, which is a wild statement. Because, like, if you were gonna fart at any time, it could be annoying. That makes sense. But why specifically after 6 on Thursdays? Maybe there was something to do with like church on Thursdays or something in Florida at one point. But corrupting the public morals is also very funny because I like the idea. That's always kind of been a scare tactic of people who are like trying to convince people that there's something nefarious going on, where they're like, it'll corrupt your children's morals. It'll corrupt the youth or anybody really. And it's like, who is afraid of seeing somebody rip a fart in public, and then other people are like, that's how I want to live my life. Maybe it would be freeing if you just let it fly whenever and wherever. These fish are feisty, man. I feel like we do need to go for the grizzly fishing rod to try and haul them in, because like this is the largest-ish sized Atlantic salmon. There's a massive one down there. I don't know if we can haul that boy in. I think the poundage limit on this fishing rod is 60 pounds, and like the big one we hauled in before was 50. That one's only 20. Maybe we can. It'll be close. And it'll be a legendary fight. But we'll see. That guy wasn't interested. All right, we're lined up for the big salmon here. See if we can't get his attention. Come on, boy. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, I'm so sad. I could have swore he would have been all over that bait. Why not? Who knows? Let's head back to the dock. Let's see what we can buy. So yeah, those are just some ideas of laws that are goofy and weird. There's just like, a lot of them are because, society changes and what we care about changes, and then people never go back and get rid of them. Not that they're enforced or whatever, but it is funny to think about. 502! Jeez, look at the money we hauled in. Definitely don't waste your time with these guys when you're hauling those monsters. Supper, just bragging rights. All right, we might have to go for the grizzly pole down here. Where are we at? We're 2,295. The Coastal Rambler. Loaded with every bell and whistle, none of them necessary, all of them nice, is great. 5,000 though. I think what would be the deep bobber and the deep jig head. Okay. Definitely want to get the different kinds of bait. We definitely want to get the biggest pole. And honestly, get me the other poles here, so we can go after the other fish as well. And then upgrade the line strength. I mean, go all the way, because if we're trying to go for these monster fish, we should upgrade. All right, let's try. Well, it's already 30 minutes. Yeah, let me know what you think about weird laws. Let me know if you know of any other ones that are funny to you, and you're willing to share. And if you have any other topics you'd like to see me cover as we explore the rest of the map here, we've got a couple other places to go. We've got this guy up here, Old Wreck Bay. We can get the license for that. There's a secret spot that Rusty hasn't told us about yet here. There's one there, one there. There's the lighthouse. There's another one over here. And then this one's coming soon, so I assume in some sort of DLC or something like that. But we will continue to explore. We will try to catch more and more of the fish out here. We have successfully caught one of everything so far, except for you. We need to go back to Picnic Point with the fluoro line and catch that boy. And we will continue to pursue our trophy-sized fish and even maybe find some legendary fish out there. Is there a different? Yeah. So when you catch the legendary fish, it has like this funny little pedestal on it, in addition to just the trophy. So we will continue our pursuit of trophy-sized fish. We will continue our pursuit of the legendary fish, and we will just keep on keeping on. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Cast and Chill, or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.